Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog. Once again I'm in a bit of a woodland again today, but it's something a little bit different. This is a woodland that once again I've walked past many times but never actually cut through into the woodland itself. If I show you just behind me, there's a nice tree here that I wanted to capture. I've never actually seen this tree before because I've never been this way before, but as I turn around you'll notice there's a gap in the hedge here, and if I walk through there I can get back onto the path that I would often be on if I walk through this way. But also as I turn around here there's a little gap here where I've actually cut off the path and cut through the woodland to find this cutting. It's quite an interesting one. I mentioned that tree earlier, that one behind me. It's got lots of different limbs and branches coming out of it, and there are several trees dotted around it. It's quite difficult to make a composition, but I think I've found one. And I kind of like it because it looks as though the main tree in the middle, the big one, is kind of reaching out and beckoning everybody else to it, and the other trees seem to be kind of heading towards it. And that's borne out by the fact that as I turn around this way there are several more trees down here that look as though they're on the path walking towards this tree up here. So I'm going to take a shot of this tree because it just caught my eye, and then I'll see if I can find something else. I think behind this tree there's another little pathway that runs through this woodland again, so I'm going to go and have a look at that in a moment. I'll take this shot first then. So that one was interesting. I wanted to try and capture a shot of that tree from a different angle so that you could see how it appeared as though those other trees were kind of walking towards it as if being beckoned by that Messiah tree. So with those two shots I've basically focused on the big guy in the middle of the cutting because he's obviously the most important tree in the in that little area. So I focused on him in both cases, and I've bracketed the exposures because the dynamic range in this woodland is amazing. I think I might have found another little shot here as well, which involves some very golden ferns that have obviously turned a very golden colour now, and some of them are even turning brown as well. So I'm just having a quick look round now to see if there's a shot here. I think there might be. So this is the composition behind me. I don't know how well you can see it. There are some ferns there kind of lying in a bit of a line that are all golden and brown, and they run towards this tree at the back, which has kind of got a double trunk to it. It looks like a birch tree. And then at the front there's this tree here, and just as I swing round here there's this tree here as well, and they seem to kind of frame this image quite nicely from where I'm standing. I've got my tripod just here, just behind me there, and I'm looking towards this composition here, and as I say, these trees on the edge of the frame really frame it perfectly. I just thought it looked quite nice. And then behind that you've got another bit of the pathway that kind of drops down a little slope into a bit more woodland, which is where I'm going to go and explore now. So I hope you like that image as well. That's another one where I've focused on the ferns themselves and bracketed the exposures, and I think that's going to be a bit of a theme of this little exercise today. So I'm going to move on and see what else I can find then. I've walked about 50 yards on from where I last was, and basically on the way through I spotted a tree with a kid's rope swing hanging from it, which I thought was quite interesting. Nothing really special about the photograph itself, but I just thought it'd be quite nice to stop and take that. That was a handheld shot, shooting with an ISO of 1600 as well, and it just looked like a nice typical woodland shot, to be honest with you. But as I've continued on I've found this cutting just here, and there's this guy standing in the middle of the cutting. So I've decided I'm going to stop here and take his portrait while I'm here. But also then as I turn around, there's a couple of interesting birch trees behind me. I think this one in particular is going to be very interesting, but there's this one here as well. So I'm going to have a quick look at taking this guy's portrait first, and then I'll see if I can get anything out of these two birch trees behind me. So I've got here a focus stacked image, shot at f11 because I need quite a lot of depth in this image. I've got this tree behind me, and then there's a woodland running off behind that, and all of these trees behind it are quite some distance away. So I'm trying to get as much depth as I can in there, and that's why I've shot a focus stacked image. It's an interesting one, quite a wide angle as well, and I'm standing on the path looking into the woodland to take this shot, so there's no real need to actually bracket the exposures on this one because everything's fairly even. The light's fairly even all the way through the image. So I'm going to move on and see what else I can get now. And I think there's probably only going to be one more shot today, and then I'll call it a day. This is it then, my last two images of the day. It was only going to be one, but it looks like it's going to be two now. I've walked across that path where I was just stood. That is just behind me, and that was the woodland I was shooting into just over there. And as I turn a little bit further around, you can see I've crossed that path, and just behind me there is this tree here with all its golden leaves still on it. And then as I turn a little bit further, there's another tree a little bit further away without any leaves on it. So I'm going to capture a shot of this one from here and this one as well, but there is a car park 100 yards behind that tree, so I'm going to go and stand the opposite side of that tree towards that car park because I don't want to capture the cars in this shot for that one. So these last two shots I'll set up here, and then I'll take this shot and then go and take that last one. So that's my lesson for today then. Using high dynamic range, bracketing the exposures in an autumn woodland like this makes a lot of sense because it allows you to capture all of the colour, the contrast and all of the detail, but it also allows you to capture obviously the dynamic range of the shot. That's it for this vlog then. If you've enjoyed watching me capture some more woodland images in the autumn woodlands, then please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.